What's up guys, it's Scoopman5000. Today we're doing another action figure review, continuing on with Mando week, and we're taking a look at IG-11 from the credit collection. We previously looked at the Heavy Infantry Mandalorian and Cara Dune from this set, and for now that's all I have because we're still waiting on the Mandalorian and the Death Trooper from Amazon. But IG-11 here was GameStop exclusive. He's actually the first one I got because GameStop has just been absolutely killing it in terms of getting figures early. I've just been stockpiling the credit collection to get enough to make Mando week, and those Amazon ones are estimated in like December, so I might as well review these now. And so if you don't already know, the credit collection, it's taken the end credit artwork, painting up the previous figures to look like that, and then you're also getting a little Imperial credit piece blistered onto the packaging, which is Kenner inspired artwork and card art included with the Kenner logo, and you can see all that business going on here. And then turning this figure around, you can see the back, great artwork of Mando and IG-11, tells you the distinctive collection as premium deco inspired by the artwork, and also that the credits themselves are Imperial and they're not taken in most of the galaxy because of principle. You see the UPC, all the business on the back here. We're gonna go ahead, flip it around, and we're gonna take a look at IG-11. So let's go ahead and bust him open. And here's IG-11 out of the packaging. For accessories, he's got two guns, both of which are just reissues of the Stormtrooper weapons. So that being the blaster, which is a bit shorter. It goes into the hand decently enough, I guess, but it's really not a tight grip at all, and it's more than likely gonna fall out. And you're also getting the Stormtrooper rifle. This one's nearly impossible to get into his hands. The hands don't rotate, so you can't really get a two-handed pose, so I just ended up putting it on the back holster. And I'm actually just realizing there's a peg on the gun here that goes into the wrist, so he doesn't actually drop his weapons. That's very creative. I didn't realize that, so I don't want to fault him for not holding weapons. The same thing is here on the rifle, so he actually can hold the weapons pretty decent. And because this is also a credit collection figure, here's our credit piece included. This one's done in like an orange bronze color, and so we're 3 credit collection figures in, and you can see the different colors here that we're getting. I believe the Mandalorian's is gold, and then there's the one other that comes with the Death Trooper. And that leaves us with IG-11. The original figure I did not pick up. I actually saw it in Best Buy, and they had stacks of them. They were peg-warming figures, these IG-11s. And I went recently to actually buy one, and suddenly it's like a $70 figure or something. Maybe I'm totally wrong in the price now, maybe it's gone down, but a couple weeks ago, around when this pre-order went up for the credit collection, the IG-11 base figure was going for a decent amount of money, and I really don't get that, just because it was peg warming for so long. But I guess as the show went on and more people saw it, the character became a lot more popular in those later episodes when he was kind of reprogrammed. So this is a good way to get an IG-11 out there, and probably the most unique paint job on this, because it's not really taking the base figure and giving it a new design. This is like this is really, really unique stuff here. The paint color is almost like bronze, gold, orange, a bit of red in there. It's completely different from IG-11, who just looks like a standard assassin droid IG-88 looking guy, where he's just got the gunmetal paint job. This one, really cool. The metallics here almost remind me of like those Japanese like collector statue figures. I forget what they're called, but it kind of reminds me of that. We'll go ahead and get a closer look at him. You can see the head sculpt here. It's a unique figure. It's going to be hard to review this one in comparison to more human looking characters, because really what you get here is just a lot of details. The head sculpt, it's got all those little scopes, I guess what you would call his eyes. The head's going to rotate all the way around like it does in the show. And then he's even got a hole going through the head here. The only way I guess you could really tell it's the back is this little piece hanging off here. So this would be the front of him. But you could really display him at any angle and it won't really look that weird, because that's how he is in the show. He's got this bandolier over him with all the ammo pouches and stuff like that. It's a bit of a softer piece, but it's not terribly soft for an overlay. You got purple going up top, which is a pretty unique color to see. Gunmetal on the pouches, and then brown on the bottom. It kind of fades nicely on the back here. This is where the holster goes for the rifle. On the torso, you can see here where this gunmetal is actually where the rotation is, where the articulation goes. The shoulders, you almost get a bit of a gold going down into the shoulders and the lower body. And these are just kind of caps over these ball joints here. So very unique construction here on IG-11. I don't have IG-88 or the original IG-11 to compare it to, but I would imagine this guy's using some IG-88 parts. Definitely feels like that, because this feels pretty antiquated in terms of its articulation. Obviously the design here, you have to get past. in order to make the articulation, so it's going to be tough, but even still, very weak articulation. We'll get into that, but that's probably the biggest downfall here. But what you get is a gold base body, and then it's got this blue, almost like patina, I want to call it, as opposed to the rusted look in the show, so that's very cool looking. These little tubes here are a soft rubber done in the red that's similar to the top of his head here. But again, it's almost hard to review just because you're pointing out every little detail. You can see the hands here. You don't really get any rotation with them, so like I said, the gun is really hard to hold. You got some different colors on the upper arms here. The articulation's hidden pretty well by these elbows, which almost look like hoses or something like that, so it looks like it's got a bit of a flex to it. But that's really about it for aesthetics. You can see the bottom here, the feet. Now to go over his articulation, that's where it's very unique, but also very limited. So the head's going to rotate like it should all the way 360. Then the ab crunch, if you want to call it that, is at the upper chest. So you don't actually get anything in the neck, but it's all up here. So he's going back that much and forward pretty much all the way. He could probably go back further if it weren't for this harness, but at least that's good. The forward. So very unique articulation here. You get a ball joint and a hinge at the shoulder. So he can go past 90 and this shoulder rotates so he can go all the way out. You can go all the way back, up, whatever you want the shoulder to do there. Almost feels like I'm going to break him just because he's so thin in the arms here. You do get a single jointed elbow. That's pretty weak. It's really only going like that much, not even close to 90 degrees or even 45. You get nothing at the waist. You don't get any splits on the figure. You do get an upper thigh cut at least right here. You get a knee joint that's sitting pretty low, but I'm almost afraid to do it because of these tubes here connected to the knee pads. So I feel like if I went any further, I'd snap this piece. And then for the boots, they're just on hinges, so you don't get any kind of ankle rocker. It makes them really difficult to stand. So overall, there's a lot you could complain about with the base figure here. But for what this is being a re-release of that existing mold, this paint job is really nice, and it's going to look nice with the rest of the figures. He just might have to be standing behind everybody so he doesn't fall over. But that's going to cover IG-11, and hopefully he stands like this while I go ahead and do my favorite part, and that's going to be some comparisons. And I didn't even get any figures on here, and he just fell by himself, so very difficult. Maybe I'll actually lean him against the backdrop here. So here you could see him with the Mandalorian Stormtrooper, and then also the carbonized Mandalorian holding Baby Yoda. And so he's taller than them, but I think the scale actually here is wrong. I've seen this online where he actually should be a little bit bigger, and people have been using the other companies, the other import versions of IG-11 with their Black Series. And I might actually even do that for a main display IG-11, just because the Black Series is getting expensive, and it's really not a good figure. So I might go ahead and shell out for an import IG-11 figure somewhere down the line when I do create a Mandalorian shelf. And then finally, here he is with the heavy infantry Mandalorian and the Cara Dune from the credit collection. And you can see them here with their corresponding credit colors. And we're going to be getting two more figures, like I said, that being the Death Trooper and the Mandalorian himself, once those finally ship out from Amazon. But as of right now, even just these three together, the colors are absolutely amazing. And what they set out to do, they did a good job. It's not going to be for everybody, but it's definitely for me. And that is going to do it for IG-11. Overall, like I said before, the articulation's really weak, but the paint job is really good. And if they weren't going to retool the figure at all, what we did get here, a re-release of that figure, I'm not going to complain too much. My mint on card copy is going to look great, and this is going to look great behind everybody else in the Mandalorian display. I do hope they get around to revising their IG-11, maybe make a Season 2 version, or like I said, I'll just go ahead and pick up an import. But for now, this is my one and only IG-11, and while he has its issues, I'm overall happy with it. I'm going to be posting some figure photography of this guy over on Instagram, scoopman_5000, as well as at the end of this video. If you like this and other action figure reviews, you want to stay tuned right here. And while we are done with the credit collection for now, there still is 2 more reviews going up, Mandalorian related, in preparation for the Mandalorian Season 2 as part of Mando Week here on the channel. So like I said, stick around right here, and I'll see you guys in the next action figure review.